Hi, this is Therese Dawn, and this is a review of the development of the reproductive systems. Our learning objectives are to understand the development of the male and female reproductive systems by describing the sexual differentiation and hormone production in utero, and also to discuss puberty and reproductive maturation. Now, the male and female reproductive systems have several anatomic and physiologic features in common. Most obvious is their major function, which is reproduction, during which an ovum, which is a female gamete containing 23 chromosomes, get together with a male gamete or sperm cell, also containing 23 chromosomes, and together they unite to form a 46 chromosome zygote. The zygote eventually becomes the embryo and then the developing fetus. So the female reproductive system not only produces the egg, but also nurture and protect it and expel it at birth. The functions, the reproductive functions, are determined not only by anatomic structures, but also by complex hormonal, neurogenic, and psychogenic factors. So let's talk about the sexual differentiation and hormone production in utero. Initially, in embryonic development, the reproductive structures of male and female embryos are homologous, which are the same, and they consist of one pair of primary sex organs called gonads, and two pairs of ducts, the mesonephric or Wolffian ducts, and the paramesonephric ducts, the Mullerian ducts. You can see here the gonads and the two pair of ducts. Both pair of ducts empty into a structure called the urogenital sinus. And here you see the primordium of prostate or the skin ducts, and the pair of primordium of Cowper or Bartholin glands. Between 6 and 7 weeks of gestation, the male embryo will differentiate under the influence of testis determining factor, TDF, which is a protein expressed by a gene in the sex determining region on a Y chromosome, SRY. When the SRY stimulates the development of testis, which in turn produces anti-Mullerian hormone, AMH, and testosterone. Now, AMH inhibits the formation of Mullerian ducts. So as testes begin to differentiate, Sertoli cells appear and aggregate to form testicular cords. Mature Sertoli cells will produce inhibin and androgen binding protein, which is important for spermatogenesis. Leydig cells also differentiate at the beginning of 8th week, and the secretion of testosterone begins. Under the influence of testosterone, the male gonads develop into the two testes that produce sperm after puberty. The paramesonephric ducts degenerate, and the mesonephric ducts, or the Wolffian system, develop into the vas deferens. They are the two tubes that carry sperm from testis to the urethra. By 9 months gestation, the male gonads, or the testes, have descended into the scrotum, and that's something you check as part of newborn assessment for baby boys. Undescended testes usually descend without intervention by 3 months of age. However, beyond that point, surgical intervention may be recommended. The female gonad development occurs in the absence of SRY expression, and the presence of estrogen and the absence of testosterone cause regression of the Wolffian system, and at 6 to 8 weeks gestation, the two female gonads develop into the ovaries, which will produce ova, of course. By the 10th week, the loss of Wolffian ducts allows the Mullerian ducts to join and become the uterus, the fallopian tubes, cervix, and upper 2/3 of the vagina. The fallopian tubes are carried over from the ovaries to the uterus during a woman's reproductive years. So the fallopian tubes are the counterpart of the vas deferens in the male. Like the internal reproductive structure, the external structure is also developed from homologous embryonic tissue. During the first 7 to 8 weeks gestation, both male and female embryos develop an elevated structure called the genital tubercle. Testosterone is necessary for the genital tubercle to differentiate into male genitalia. Otherwise, female genitalia develop, which may occur even in the absence of ovaries, possibly because of the presence of placental estrogens. Let's talk about the hormonal production. Anterior pituitary gland development starts between 4th and the 6th weeks of fetal life, and the vascular connection between the hypothalamus and the pituitary is established by the 12th week. Gonadotropin releasing hormone GnRH is produced by the hypothalamus by the 10 weeks gestation and controls the production of the two gonadotropins, LH and FSH, which are luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone. In the female fetus, high levels of FSH and LH are secreted. FSH and LH in turn stimulate the production of estrogen and progesterone by the ovary. The production of FSH and LH rises until about 28 weeks gestation, until the production of estrogen and progesterone by the ovaries and placenta is high enough to cause a decline in gonadotropin production. Production of primitive female gametes or ova occurs solely during fetal life. From puberty to menopause, one female gamete matures per menstrual cycle. Production of the male gametes, however, begins at puberty. After that, millions are produced daily and usually for life. By the end of pregnancy, a sensitive negative feedback system, which includes the gonadostat, also known as the GnRH pulse generator, is operative in the fetus. The gonadostat responds to high placental estrogen by releasing low level of GnRH. Soon after birth, the steroid hormones levels drop because of withdrawal of maternal placenta hormones. Hypothalamic pulsatile GnRH is secreted, and gonadotropins LH and FSH are released and peak at 3 to 6 months for boys and 12 to 18 months for girls, and then fall steadily. The gonadotropins will be suppressed until the onset of puberty. So let's now talk about puberty and the reproduction maturation. Well, puberty is the onset of sexual maturation, and it is different from adolescence. Adolescence is, of course, a stage of human development between childhood and adulthood, and it includes social, psychological, and biologic factors, biologic changes. Now, there are terms that we want to know about regarding puberty. Celarchy is the breast development, and atrinarchy is the increased production of adrenal androgens, which are the dihydroepiandrosterone, and gonadarchy is the maturations of the gonads. So it means that when estradiol is produced for girls and testosterone for boys. The puberty is in girls is the accelerated growth followed by celarchy, and it happens between age 8 to 9 years. So 8 years of age in black girls and 9 years in white girls. Now, in boys, it begins later at about 11 years. Genetics, environment, ethnicity, general health, and nutrition can influence the timing of puberty. So early puberty in girls is linked to obesity. It's perhaps because from higher estrogen levels related to leptin and gonadotropin secretion, while girls who have low body fat, reduced body weight, and who exercise a lot may experience delay maturation. Although leptin is not the trigger for puberty onset, it plays an important permissive role. Now, leptin is found in leptin contribute to increased adipose tissue and perhaps allowing for maturation to occur. The reproductive maturation involves the hypothalamic pituitary and gonadal axis. This is a picture that depicts the hormonal stimulation of the gonads. So you can see that puberty is related to age and health, and this HPG axis has the determinant factors that depends on the age and the health of the individual, the environment where the individual is. That includes lifestyle, nutrition, and all that, and also stress. So the reproductive maturation involves the hypothalamic pituitary gonadal axis, which is this whole structure here, the central nervous system, and also the endocrine system. A series of hormonal events promote sexual maturation as puberty is near. So about a year before puberty in girls, there is an increase in the frequency and amplitude of nocturnal pulses of gonadotropin secretion of LH and FSH, and also an increased response in the pituitary to GnRH. So this is during this time that they need a lot of sleep at night, and usually they should sleep about 9 to 10 hours minimum at night. So this frequency and amplitude in turn stimulates gonadal maturation or gonadarchy, with estradiol secretion in girls and testosterone secretion in boys. Estradiol causes breast development, phylarchy, maturation of the reproductive organs, which are vagina, uterus, ovaries, and fat deposit in hips in girls. Estrogen and increased production of growth factors cause rapid skeletal growth in both boys and girls. Testosterone causes growth of testes, scrotum, and penis. A positive feedback loop is created with gonadotropins stimulating the gonads, which are ovaries or testes, to produce more sex hormones. So in the males, the testes begin to produce mature sperm, and male puberty therefore is complete with the first ejaculation that contains mature sperm. In female, the ovaries begin to release mature ova. Female puberty is complete with the first ovulatory menstrual period. However, this can take up to 1 to 2 years after menarche. Now, after menarche is the increased production of adrenal androgens, which are dihydroepiandrosterone and androstenedione, which is converted to testosterone and estrogen. And this atronarchy happened prior to puberty, and which it occurs in both sexes, and it is demonstrated by axillary and pubic hair growth, and also body odor. So you notice that at puberty, some of the boys don't smell very good, and that's because of the high levels of testosterone. So puberty is complete when an individual is capable of reproduction. So the summary of this tutorial is so you remember that the initial reproductive structures of both male and female appear the same until the 8th week of gestation. And development depends on the sex hormones. Remember that testosterone is a major hormonal determinant of sexual differentiation in utero. And in terms of puberty, it's different in adolescence. Well, adolescence is a stage of development that involves the social, psychological, and also biological formation. Puberty is merely the onset of sexual maturation, and it is complete with the capability for reproduction. In the male, puberty is considered complete with the first ejaculation that contains mature sperm, and in the female is the first ovulatory menstrual period, and that could be 1 to 2 years after menarche. So that concludes the first part of the tutorial. The following part will be about the female reproductive system, and that's a separate course stream.